Hi everyone, Velvet here, and in this one, OP won't stop meowing at her cat. Let's get to it. Our first story comes from C Purpose 2202. Am I the beehole for telling my son he needs to live with the consequences of ignoring what his children were saying? My son lost his first wife when their two children were preschoolers. My grandson is now 17 and my granddaughter is almost 16. Their relationship with my son has been on a downward spiral for years. It started when he and his current wife moved in together. She had two kids of her own, and early on they showed extreme jealousy whenever their mom would pay any attention or buy anything for my grandkids. They were older, teenagers, and said a number of cruel things to my grandkids. My grandkids told my son, they told my wife, and we spoke to our son. But he ignored all four of us. My wife also spoke to my son's second wife prior to the wedding, and she said her kids would adjust in time. My grandkids spent years living with too much older kids who told them they deserved to have a deceased mom and that she would want them deceased because nobody would want them around. They accused them of stealing from them because their mom shouldn't be doing anything for them. There were incidents where they broke the stuff their mom bought for my grandkids. My wife and I pleaded with our son to do something to help his kids. We said they didn't deserve to be raised like that. The problems continued even after the older kids moved out. They still expressed a lot of jealousy and hatred for my grandkids. I never interacted much with my son's stepkids. I saw them a handful of times in the years my son has been married to his current wife. They would mostly go to their dad if my son and his wife were spending time with us or any of our kids, or they would reject offers to spend time with us. But the few times I did see them, I was always shocked about how blatant their hatred for my grandkids was, and how my son would never appear to care. One incident in particular stands out. It was my granddaughter's birthday, and she got some art kits she had wanted. It set off the two older kids who called her a bee baby, and they even broke part of the kit. My wife and I spoke to our son and his wife, but they did nothing and said nothing. My grandkids now spend a lot of time with myself and my wife. They hardly speak to their dad despite living under his roof. They wanted us to get custody of him, but we were denied. So they have been taking to doing their best to make it through the next year/2 years. My son is only now starting to care that the relationship with his kids has been destroyed. He asked me why we tried to fight for custody of the kids when he's their dad and accused my wife and I of turning the kids against him. This is when I stopped him and said we didn't turn them against him. He is just living with the consequences of ignoring what his kids were telling him. I told him he put them through years of bullying so he could marry and stay married. Now he has to live with his decision. My son ranted at me and said the last thing any parent should do is try to make their kid feel crappy about themselves, which I was doing. Am I the beehole? No, you are not the beehole. Your son is the beehole. Why is he not protecting his children? From what I understand, he moved into her house. So I guess that means she gets to dominate everything and use your kids like that? Use your grandchildren like that? I wish you had one custody. And really, the irony of him, oh, you're turning them against me. No. You don't get to. Is he a narcissist? Because that's what narcissists do, right? They blame other people for what they're doing, or they try to project onto other people what they've done. That's insane. This one actually really infuriates me. I can't see how anyone would let their children be mentally used like that. That's a shame. Our second story comes from Lost Objective 3379. Am I the beehole for meowing with my cat? I have a very vocal cat, an 8-year-old male. He meows a lot and also expects a response to this meowing. If you don't respond, he becomes a bit stressed. Insulted? He even seems to really enjoy having this interaction with me. I always meow when he does, and we have conversations where we meow at each other. My partner hates this. Partner thinks the noise is awful and wants me to teach the cat to stop meowing, or at the very least wants me to ignore my cat when he meows at me. But to me, this would be like ignoring a friend trying to talk to me. My partner considers me the beehole for not stopping the meowing despite being told it's very annoying, and thinks it's very little effort. Am I the beehole for not respecting my partner's boundaries here and meowing with my cat? No, I'm gonna say no. You're not the beehole, because I talk to my dogs. I don't bark at them, but I'll howl at them when they start howling because I think it's funny getting them riled up, which I don't think I'm supposed to. I think that's me telling them that I'm in pain. I don't know, but no, I actually think it's quite cute. So keep doing what you're doing. Our third and final story comes from Babbled Ryan. Am I the beehole for not telling my ex-wife I got married again? I, a 28-year-old male, was married to my ex-wife for 2 years before we divorced because I realized that I was gay. I had been out as bi from the age of 16, and I knew I liked men, but I also liked women. However, I realized when I was 24 that I didn't like women. So, I told my wife I wanted a divorce, but I said I was happy to co-parent our 1-year-old and she agreed. We both lived in London until recently I moved to Switzerland to live with my now husband and we got married there. I didn't invite my ex as she had a new boyfriend who me and our little boy did not like. I knew he would definitely say something homophobic at the wedding. I have complete custody of our son as he wanted to live with me and my ex agreed. Now our son was at the wedding and looked so smart, so I sent photos to my ex. And she started messaging me and calling me, telling me I'm so rude for not inviting her or even telling her, and she wanted our son back with her. I said no, and now all her family are messaging me saying I'm the beehole and I should have told her. I don't know if I am or not. Note, the agreement about the custody was in court and she knew at the time I had a fiance, so I don't know what she was expecting to happen in the future. Hi, OP. No, I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. I could understand maybe you should have shot her a little heads up having, getting married, but I see why you don't want them at the wedding because of what her boyfriend's going to do, and I agree you shouldn't have people who are going to, actively hate you at your wedding. And also, like you said in your note, she knew you had a fiance. What did she think was going to happen later on? Hi everyone, and that's another one in the bag. Thank you so much for listening. Could you please do me a favor? Like, comment, and subscribe. It'll really help me out. Velvet out.